So we have some bad news, but we also have some good cruise news, and I'm going to tell you all about it in this video up ahead. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about a mishmash of news. There's some bad news. Of course, we've got those cruise cancellations. We're going to get those out of the way. But I also have some really good news. Some good news about cruise ports, some good news about testing, and some good, interesting news for anybody who does want to spend a little time this winter in the Caribbean. I will tell you more in this video up ahead, but before I get started, I did want to mention that if you do like this video, if you find it helpful or informative in any way, then please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please consider subscribing to the channel. Let's get started. Okay, first up, let's talk about cruise cancellations. Unfortunately, early this week, we heard from the cruise line, starting with Norwegian Cruise Line. Then we went on to Royal Caribbean Group, so that included Celebrity. Then we went on to MSC, Carnival, and that included all of Carnival's cruise lines. So that includes Holland America, that includes Princess, then Disney. Well, we just heard from all of the cruise lines that they were basically canceling December 2020. And then we heard from CLIA, the Cruise Line Association, that all of the cruise lines that are members that are sailing out of the U.S. waters are actually canceling their cruises. Now, as much as that's really sad news, I hate to hear cancellations. I have to say, I cannot wait until we have a month where we do not hear of any cancellations. But we have to know that this was to be expected. While the CDC lifted the no-sail order, and that was really good news, they put in place a framework for conditional sailing. And that means that sailing can't start right away. There are quite a lot of things that cruise lines have to put in place for cruises to be able to be ready and meet those CDC standards to be ready to sail. Now, I'm not going to get into that too much in this video because I'll leave a video at the end where I really did go into all the things the cruise lines have to do. But a lot of that is due to the circumstances, right? I mean, we have to face the reality that right now the numbers are going higher. Even in Europe where they are sailing, some of the cruise lines actually from Germany have stopped sailing for at least a short time while that country goes back into lockdown. So that is the reality. We are talking about cruising during a pandemic, and this won't always be this way, but as they start, they just don't want a repeat. That would be very bad news for the cruise industry. They don't want a repeat of March. So they'll take their time. They will be ready to sail, and I don't know the date that they'll sail again. I really hope that we do not see more cancellations for January, but let's talk about that at the end, and we can take some guesses as to what is going to happen for cruising and when we think that that will resume. But let's go on to the good news. Okay, I think this is the first good cruise news for cruise ports of call. Bahamas, which does have certain rules, and they just actually relaxed their rules a little bit about testing and about quarantining for tourists in the Bahamas, but in particular for cruise line passengers, what they have said is the testing that will be done on cruise ships will be sufficient for cruise passengers to return to Bahamas. They will accept that. So that is really good news that the Bahamas is doing this. I'm imagining that other ports of call will probably follow suit. So hopefully we can have some really nice ports to sail to in the near future in the Caribbean. So more good news, but this time it has to do with a cruise line. Well, you know how the CDC, they have their new framework for conditional sailing, and one big point is that all the cruise lines have to actually test their passengers and their crew prior to embarkation and prior to disembarkation from the cruise ship. And they actually have to have a lab built, all of that. And that did seem like it was quite a feat to be able to do that. And I know the cruise lines could do it, but I did wonder, well, how exactly are they going to do it? So I was pretty excited to read about the Viking Star. So that's one of the Viking ships, and they actually have built the first PCR lab, so that is testing, that is at sea. Now, that PCR test is going to be a saliva test. It's non-invasive. So for people who are wondering about the test itself, and they say they actually have the capacity to test on board for up to all the passengers and all the crew daily if need be. Now, it shouldn't need be, but if need be. And they take, they can hold up to 990 passengers. So this is really good news. And it's actually the first testing lab at sea. So imagine that. Good news for cruising. Now, is there anyone else here who's looking ahead at a cold, dark, bleak winter? I live in Canada, so that is what my life looks like for the next couple of months at least. But there is an actual Caribbean cruise that you can take. And we talked about this a couple of videos back. It is SeaDream. If you follow the bloggers, Ben and David, then you will know that they are on the SeaDream. It looks just gorgeous. So definitely check out their videos for all of the details and for how stunning that cruise ship looks. And anyway, so that is a luxury cruise ship that holds only 114 passengers. They are sailing in the Caribbean, and they're able to do that because they're not actually going into U.S. waters. So they're leaving from Barbados and from St. Martin and St. Thomas. They're doing like these 7-day trips there. So you could actually take that cruise ship if you want. But more than that, what they've done now is they've said that they've actually had requests, people asking them, how can I stay longer on board? Can I even live on board? And I'm thinking about snowbirds who might want to spend some extended time on board, or maybe people who are doing remote work and they can work from a luxury yacht, or people that are independently wealthy and can afford it. But if you are interested, they actually have a discount program, and this is how it works. If you take back to back. So that is 4 sailings in a row of 7 days. So that means a total of about a month on that cruise ship. Then what you can do is you can have access to a 25% discount. You'll also get 50% off Wi-Fi, 50% off laundry, and 2 spa appointments per week. So it does sound pretty good. So if you are snowbird or independently wealthy or any of those things, then you might want to check out SeaDream for your winter plans. Okay, let's get back to the cruise news for just a minute. You know how in the conditional sailing framework that the CDC has put out, well, they have said that they're going to be doing those trial sailings first with crew members and then after that with volunteer passengers. So a lot of people have been asking, how do I get on that volunteer list? Now, I actually don't know. I do know that it says that you do need to be 18 years and older. So that means it would exclude people that are families, even if they were families of crew members, but I'm actually not sure how it works. So do let me know if you have some ideas. Please let me know in the comments below. And if I do have an answer to that question, if I find out, I will let you know in a future video. Now, I would also like to know when you think that cruises might resume for passengers. Do you think that they will resume in January? Do you think that they'll resume in February? How do you think that'll happen? I'll let you know what I think. Personally, I think that they may start, just a guess, they may start in about mid-January with some 3 or 4 night sailings. That's my guess, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not done so already over there. Thanks so much for watching, and happy future cruising.